This is Nicole Ramai, and this is my video assignment from module number 3. And in this assignment, I am going to be mapping my social networks that I use, or in this case, that I have used in the past. I don't really use social networks as much as it seems like everyone else around me, but I have used it and I do have connections on it, so it'd be interesting to see someone who, oddly enough, who is very interested in social media and yet does not really use many social networks, how I accomplished this assignment. So going right along, go into the first slide. So this slide, this map is mapping my Facebook connections that I have, and I'm in the center, and my connections include high school friends, work friends, artists and celebrities, internet family that lives out of the United States, family that lives in New York City, and then family that lives in the other states. So my connections are not varied. I would say that my connections on Facebook is very limited. But I still do have the connections, and so let's take a look at one of the connections that I have. And the first one is a family member, Judy Ramai, happens to be my mother. She is a maven, which is an expert. She is an expert in travel agencies. She knows all the best hotels and all the best locations to travel in all over the world, and she's the first person I talk to when I think about going on vacation. She has all the current knowledge. She knows where's safe, where it's not safe to travel, and it's so nice and easy to have someone in the family where you can just go and ask that for that information. My next connection is work friends. Ray McFarlane is a connector. He is one of my friends from when I used to work at Michael Kors. He he has a huge network. He's always meeting. He works in the mailroom at Michael Kors, and he meets and greets everybody. He knows every single person in the company. He's met every person's friends, family members. As a matter of fact, when I used to work at Michael Kors, we used to hang out quite a bit, and he's actually met my mother, Judy Ramai. So there's a connection there, and he's actually sold some handbags to her. He always gets the best sample bags. When there's a sample sale, they first and foremost sell it to the workers in the building, and he always got the best selections because he was connected to everybody, so he knew when things were going to happen before it happened. So he's a perfect connector. And my salesperson is, oddly enough, I do have artists and celebs that I friended on Facebook way back when, and one of them is Terry Goodkind, my favorite author. He's great. He's a great author, and you'll notice a lot of artists and celebrities who use Facebook and Twitter to promote themselves, and they are in and of themselves perfect sales people to promote their brand and their products. And this is it for my map for Facebook. If we move on, so now we have my map for LinkedIn. Again, I'm at the center. These are all my connections, so I always start with me. I have family on here, I have vendors, I have friends, I have headhunters, I have former Flushing Bank employees and Flushing Bank employees on LinkedIn. So we can start. So one of my friends, Will Hofer, I consider him a maven. He sells life insurance. He's an expert in life insurances and retirement portfolios. That is his profession, his career. I think on Facebook you're going to find a lot of mavens because everyone in their own right is an expert of something that they promote for the most part on LinkedIn. So there are quite a few mavens on these in this map, or in any map, I would say. The next connection is Mariana Puglia, who works at Flushing Bank, and she's a connector. She is retail sales recruiting, so she handles all of the recruiting for the retail side of the bank. She knows everyone on the banking side, on the retail side. So if there's someone you're trying to, or something you're trying to find, for the most part, she'll know who that person is for you, and that's a great connection. And oddly enough, her and actually Will Hofer are connected on LinkedIn. He connected to her through me, and you're gonna no. There's gonna be a lot of that on LinkedIn, I suppose. Okay, and my last uh, example is Jeremy Brenner, who is a salesperson for the Baccarat Group. He's a promoter, he's a headhunter, and he's trying to find everybody a job. So he's very good at trying to get you out of the position you're in and get you into a quote unquote better position. And these are my two maps for the video assignment. Some questions I would like to answer. Are there subgroups within the network? I'm going to go ahead and say, like, for every group that you have in the network, there are going to be subgroups. There are going to be, just looking at friends, you can break that out into different subgroups. That's the whole idea of social networking and the social maps, especially according to one of our assignments that we did have to read the slides. You could see that everything's kind of interconnected, and there should be, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's just so many different subgroups, and maybe there are really only 6 degrees of separation to get you from me to Kevin Bacon, but I would not be surprised. Now, another question is, who started the network, and has their role changed over time? I'm not going to say, just because I put myself at the center of the map, I don't think that I started any network. I started my own profile and I connected with people just as people started their own profiles and connected with me. I don't think there's a central point or central area in any of these maps per se. I just think it depends on perspective. Another question, is there anything specific that the network is organized around? Um, in both of my maps, the the network is organized around me because it is coming from my point of view. And the last question, where do networks succeed in communicating and where do they fail? I don't use social networks very often. I am more, I would say, a voyeur because I look and I see what's going on, but I don't necessarily communicate to people. I, for the most part, I just feel like I don't have time. I try to go on Facebook to connect with family members, especially out of New York City, because I want to, know that they're okay and see what's going on with their lives. But I don't necessarily respond back to them on social networks. I'm more the type of person that would text them or speak to them over the phone or even Skype, um, or even use Skype, but I don't really use social networks as much. So I would say I'm a prime example of how they can fail, um, because they don't get me to be more involved in the networks. Where do they succeed? Well, what I do like about LinkedIn is that it's great because I can, um, I'm at this point right now where I am looking for work, so I'm using LinkedIn more. I'm updating my profile more, and it is helping me to look at opportunities um, in a different way than I would normally. And I think because of my needs, I've gone to LinkedIn, and that is why LinkedIn for right now is a success for me, because I'm using it more because I need to I need to go on it more to connect, to expand on that network and try to find a new position. And that's why I think that that actually helps. um, I do want to note that the readings for this week, I mean, it was a little lengthy, but it was very, very interesting. um, I was most surprised about the slides, going through the slides and learning how the type of connections we have are really just are based on relationships, close relationships, that I never really thought about social networks like that before. I've always thought of social networks as just people just trying to connect with everybody and trying to connect with so many people that you can get overwhelmed. But after reading the assignments, I noticed that that is not the case. And that's going to do it for my presentation and my social network maps for Module 3's assignment. And thank you.